up, survivalists? It's your co-host Jeremy
and Jay.
Hey, and we want to welcome you back to another week of Blerd Survival Guide. This week we are talking about the one, the only Snyder Cut Justice League. My God, that was a beautiful movie. What do you think about it, Jay?
It sucked.
You're terrible.
No, I loved it, man. God, I loved it. It really did a great job of bringing my vision for what I thought that the Wheaton cut was lacking. I mean, it really brought Division as a comic book nerd's vision to life on the screen. Don't you think?
It truly was a completely different movie.
Entirely.
From what 2017 Wheaton cut was. I mean, you have the different aspect ratio.
The different, everybody looked different.
Yeah, you're right, yeah. I mean, you got the surprise cameos, and spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it yet, please go see it immediately. But spoiler alert, Martian Manhunter
makes an appearance.
He made a couple of appearances. That was dope.
I'm just still caught up on the difference between the Steppenwolfs. I mean,
oh my God.
You just talk about the big difference in that. I think there's no better way of depicting how different the movies really were.
That's basically the biggest comparison that we all got. You got the Steppenwolf of the Whedon cut, who basically looked like a man with horns on his head and regular fingers.
Marvel, it was Loki. Let's be real, it was Loki.
Yeah, it was Loki to a degree. But then you got the Snyder cut version, and dude looks like a legit alien.
Extraterrestrial.
He was actual extraterrestrial. His face was contorted. His armor was otherworldly. Like, you have never seen armor like that.
It was like his skin.
It was an outer skin. And then the one thing that I pointed out to my roommate John was that his hands, like if you took notice to his hands, he had about 7 or 8 fingers on each hand. And it was like
what?
2 thumbs, like 4 of the regular fingers, and then an extra finger on the other end. That's how he was able to palm the mother boxes. It's because he had literally 8 fingers that was able to hold it and have a grip on it. I'm like, that's how you do an alien, because I'm tired of aliens looking
like humans.
And that's what we've gotten in all these movies, even up to Guardians of the Galaxy, which is, that's Marvel, but still, you got aliens with 5 fingers, 5 toes, the same area of genitalia and stuff like that.
Exactly.
But if I want an alien, I want one that.
I didn't know you had these opinions.
Yeah, it's weird, because it's like I would rather see. If you're going to have an outer space movie,
right?
The best comparison to that would be E.T. Literally, one of the first outer space movies, quote unquote.
Okay.
Only because E.T. It's called E.T. Extraterrestrial. Mm-hmm. He did not look like he was from this world. He didn't look like he was a human of any sort. He had 3 fingers. He was no taller than my desk, which is about 3 feet, or 2.5 feet.
Right.
His neck was able to extend like a giraffe. Mm-hmm. That thing was weird. His head was
the telescopic neck, the bulging eyes.
Yeah.
You want someone that looks like an actual alien?
Yeah, it's like an actual alien. I would love to have villains.
You're tired of the humanoid alien. It's lazy.
Yeah, it is, and I know that's only because we as humans and in the movie making industry can only do so much and go so far.
I feel like that we can go pretty far now.
Yeah, we definitely can. You just saw it in Justice League.
And that's the thing. you look at from Martian Manhunter to Steppenwolf to the alien race that is working with Steppenwolf and
the parademons and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
And Darkseid and Desaad. Yeah, and that's the thing. They all look. Even though Darkseid, Desaad, and the Disciples, those big disciples and big bads, yes, they do look humanoid. That's what gives them kind of that hierarchy of powers, because they are more human, have more of an intelligence compared to the parademons, who legit look like just human-sized cockroaches with wings. That's
a great description of them, honestly.
Yeah.
So all in all, you're telling me that if we have more alien-esque, not less humanoid aliens, you're gonna have a better movie going experience.
Yeah, I would actually say that. I would say, yeah, if I'll go to see a movie about space or science fiction, that's the thing. It's called science fiction. Mm-hmm. I'm not expecting to see. I'm going to expect to see the heroes that are humans defeating aliens.
May not be though.
But may not be. But I still would I would still want them to be otherworldly. I want them to
ethereal, if you will.
Yeah, and that's really what it comes down to. I want something different.
In Marvel, you're talking about old buddy's dad.
Ego?
Right. Yeah.
Ego the Living Planet?
Ego the Living Planet. He's a planet.
He is a planet.
But it's Kurt Russell.
Yeah. I mean, I understand. Yeah, we have to have a character
But,
development.
I mean,
of
like
human form.
I'm cool with having like a CGI'd image with Kurt Russell's voice.
Yeah, and that could have been that. It was just like, hey, we're gonna go to this planet that just happens to have the.
What do you think that discussion was like? They're like, hey, Kurt, so you're an alien, but you're gonna look like yourself, but you're also a planet.
Sign me up. I'm pretty sure that's how it was. I mean, Kurt Russell, he's a good looking man for his age.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean,
did you see him in that Santa Claus movie?
Have I seen him in that Santa Claus movie? Have you seen him in a sequel of that Santa Claus movie?
I watched it twice. I did.
It's fantastic.
Handsome man.
But back to supernatural beings of the other world.
Sorry.
Of course he got to experience being a planet while also still being himself. And I mean, he also got to revisit how he looked back in the 70s.
Right.
Because I mean, they had that you got Marvel in their de-aging process.
That CGI technology that they use and use from Tony Stark when they did it on Robert Downey Jr. as a young Robert Downey Jr.
The augmented reality.
Fart. Was it fart?
Barf.
Barf.
Yeah. But to tie it all up, sum it all together, it's just an otherworldly experience of aliens looking like aliens. I want them to look different.
But all in all, the Snyder movie, man. I mean, while you may, I hear your complaints about the humanoid aliens.
Yeah, that was just about. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. That was my little tangent on aliens and why they look.
The Snyder Cut as a whole, I think that it just was a much better film, and it honestly,
most definitely.
I mean, I've heard people say that they've heard mixed reviews. I have yet to hear a poor review of this movie within my circles.
I've seen nothing but positives. I have watched a few TikToks and seen some articles where it does, and I have to somewhat agree to it. I mean, it's a 4-hour movie.
It's a long movie,
what you're getting yourself into when they tell you that it's a 4-hour movie and you say you're going to watch a 4-hour movie. Yeah, people say that it did kind of drag on at the beginning at first. You really didn't see any action.
6 parts.
It is a 6-part movie. I mean, Batman, Bruce Wayne didn't get into the Batsuit until halfway through the movie. That's almost 2.5 hours in.
So, hot take, love Batfleck as Bruce Wayne.
Okay.
You can keep him as Batman. I mean, I like his Bruce Wayne, man. I think it's funny. I think he's clever. I think he knows how to be a rich, spoiled little boy really well.
Okay. Okay.
But his Batman in the bat suit, not the biggest fan. Not the biggest fan.
See, you are.
I'm a Christian Bale. I'm a OG Batman. I'm a animated Batman lover.
Yeah.
Above all else.
Oh yeah, no. Kevin Conroy as the OG Batman the animated series will always be near and dear to my heart. If you want to hear an even hotter take, because yes, a lot of people were not fans of Batfleck,
right?
And they still aren't fans of Batfleck. Hotter take, I'm the exact opposite. I love Batfleck.
Oh,
I'm a fan of Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne.
Let's get this man right.
I'm a fan of Ben Affleck's Batman. Only because he looks more the part with the image that Zack Snyder was going with, which is also a comic book.
It's an older Batman.
It is an older Batman, and if you read, it's called The Dark Knight Returns. It's an older Batman. He's been the Batman for 20 years, just like Zack Snyder's Batman.
Dawn of Justice / Zack Snyder.
And he is if you look at the animation of it, he is big. He is
thick.
wide.
He is thick.
Yes. He does have the mech suit, just like in the movie. In Justice League, it's that Batman. It's not a Batman of yesteryear.
So the mech suit is comic book accurate.
Yes, very accurate. That mech suit that you saw in Batman vs Superman, it's almost ripped right out that page. Literally, their standoff is ripped from that page. Costume,
Even the cowl?
Yeah.
Really?
Even the cowl.
So I heard that the cowl was altered because potentially Mr. Affleck was a little bit self-conscious of his double chin.
Nah, he every bat suit is gonna have, it's gotta fit their face to where it makes them essentially look like Batman.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they're not gonna f it up by like, hey,
Right.
you have to fit this specific mask,
Right.
and it's gonna have you have the double chin. No, that's that. People don't want that in movies. You want to have like,
Yeah, you
You
want to
wanna
have
look-
your chiseled Batman
yeah,
a little
even
bit.
even if he is older, yeah, he still has to be chiseled.
Right.
Which I mean, he did like, dude
I
was
mean,
ripped.
dude-
You saw that workout scene he did in Batman vs Superman?
So yes, the workout man, that workout scene in Batman versus Superman, it got me hype.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. Fun fact, hot take: don't like Superman. Was rooting for Batman in the fight the whole time, even though it's
Oh,
the whole reason. Like,
I agree with you on that one.
I mean,
honestly,
Batman over Superman any day. I think that there's a bit more reality based in Batman versus Superman, personally, and human connection there.
well, it's only because literally, and then just like how Flash as Batman is like, so or how Flash as Bruce Wayne, how Barry as Bruce. So, what is your superpower? Bruce looks at him and says,
I'm
rich. Like that. That can't get any more super to me. I mean, that's
pretty-
probably the most human aspect.
That's a real life superpower right
Batman
there.
has contingency plans for every superhero. It may not be in this Justice League movie, but he has contingency plans on top of contingency plans.
I mean, he's hyper intelligent, man. I mean,
Yes.
but it was, it might not have been evident in the Snyder Cut or in the original Justice League.
Only because they
But
just
it-
got started with.
But
the
it
Justice
was
League.
evident in Dawn of Justice.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, he realized
having
hey,
to take down Superman, he had to
He had
plan,
to-
plot, replan, plot,
and he had to. I mean, he had to find. He knew that Superman's weakness was kryptonite.
Yeah.
He knew that. Hey, I need to find a piece of this man's homeworld to defeat him. Creates multiple versions and variations of it from a rock. He has a rock on a spear. He has a spear.
I mean, that thing
It's a kryptonite spear.
It was
He
a
has-
dope scene, man.
he
He's
has
like carving
kryptonite-
the thing.
Yes, he has kryptonite gas. He made the rock into gas, Jay. How do you like?
Well, I mean, he's a genius. Above
I mean,
the fact that he is a combat genius and the world's #1 detective, the man has hyper intelligence.
I mean, yeah, he's literally that's first and foremost. He's a world class detective. That's a lot of things that people don't remember is that first and foremost
He's a detective.
he's the world's greatest detective. Like you go back to 1930 or 1929.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally what it says on the front of the DC comic books.
OG.
Like DC Detective Comics. That's literally what it stands for.
And I mean, Batman is the first superhero out of DC.
Superman. I think Superman was before him, but they're hand in hand.
Right.
Like
Right.
years, literally like at least 1 or 2 years apart.
We definitely need to look into the timeline around that, though.
I believe, and I got it. Let me look it up real quick. Unfortunately, our producer Miriam could not make it tonight, but she will be with us on our next episode.
Which at this time, I'm going to take a little bit of a moment to say we will be celebrating both Miriam's and Jeremy's birthday next week. So please wish them a happy birthday on our social media channels. At Blerd Survival Guide, at Blerd Guide on Twitter, at Blerd Survival Guide at all other platforms. But during their birthday, we're going to be taking a trip to where, Jeremy?
Austin, Texas.
Because they're smarter than the rest of Texas.
Yeah, they are.
And Jeremy's dad lives there, so
Yeah,
that's
he
going to be
does.
a good time. Hi, Jeremy's dad.
Hey, Dad. Okay, so I was correct. Superman came first.
What year?
June of 1938.
Gemini.
And Batman is May of 1939. So literally, not even a year. They're, excuse me, they're 11 months apart.
333 days.
That's crazy. Like literally, like I said, they go hand in hand. I even forgot what we were talking about for a minute. But going back to like Justice League Snyder Cut, I mean the movie as a whole, it did well. My favorite characters were Cyborg and Flash, only because they were able to flesh out both of their stories even more
Right.
than they were in the initial.
God, it was so necessary.
It was very necessary. I mean, essentially, Justice League was Cyborg's movie.
Without Cyborg, you're not able to solve the problem that is at hand, right? He is birth of a mother box.
Yeah, he's the son of a mother box. Also, him already being smart beforehand,
yeah.
it just elevated his level of genius once he got connected to the mother box. And at like that, there was that scene at the beginning. Spoiler alert again, when his dad gave him the cassette tape, and he's figuring out, hey, you have access to virtually everything, literally virtually everything in the world.
Right.
And you see
him, not virtually everything virtual.
Yeah, everything virtual. So you see him at the beginning, and he goes to like the bank vault,
and helps that the family
that
out.
Part
Man,
got me. Like, I teared up. I was
where was
cry.
Cyborg when we were kids? Like I mean, this man was intelligent, athletic, and black.
That's all I needed. That's all I needed to succeed from elementary to high school.
The man is just—he's a very important figure now, and I think that it is not lost on me the importance of his representation within the comic book world. No. Yeah, it's great that we have Black Panther, and that's one thing. And I mean, he's a king, right? Like, we could talk about hierarchy and everything, but Cyborg is, I mean, if anything, he's a self-made man.
And truly a self-made man.
And he has worked, and he had to work and strive and be better than everybody else because his family pushed him in one way.
His family did push him in one way, and he was already successful being the smart Victor Stone,
right?
That everybody grew up to know and love.
And loved him. He was well loved amongst his peers.
But once he became different, he saw himself, and you see this in the movie too. He was
lost himself.
He lost himself. He was lost within himself. He lost himself, being depressed. And I mean, it really took mental health into play in this movie. And I really like how they treated that. It was just like, he's mad at himself until he has to realize, I'm not a robot. And that's at the end of the movie too, when he's like trying to separate the three mother boxes. Yeah. And he's like, I'm not a robot. I'm not a cyborg. I like who I am. Yep. And when he's able to say that, that's when he was able to finally get back outside of the Unity and tell Superman, hey, help me pull this apart.
It's crazy because he really had to wrestle with that. And I want to kind of go into it a little bit more because he really had to wrestle with his own personal feelings. You know, he really had to come to terms with what he was struggling with and trying to get over in order to be the hero that he needed to be.
Right. Like, he had to come through so many obstacles to essentially just be him. First of all, just be himself. Just to,
I mean, like, wrestling with the emotions of a teenage boy, first of all.
Yeah, because he's only around, like, I would say...
he's not graduated at that point.
He was still...
Junior or senior?
Yeah, I would say, like, 21, 22 at the oldest. Only because he was still like...
So how long after his
his
accident are the mother boxes awakened? Because I felt like it was just like a year.
I would say that. I would say it was...
He was probably like 18, I would say 19.
Well, no, like his accident, it never specified like where he was. I would say he was a starting quarterback at Gotham University. So how? I mean, unless he was.
So are you telling me? So I thought he was in high school.
That was Gotham University. He was in college.
Oh,
yeah, he was in college. Like,
okay, that makes more sense.
If you're a starting quarterback at college, that's roughly
you're
like
probably junior or senior. You're not like it's not often that you're a freshman. So you might be okay. Okay.
So he was like I said, he's
in his 20s.
Yeah, 21, 22. 22 at the oldest.
Still wrestling with a lot, man.
You're still essentially, not even essentially a teenager, but you still
turned 26 last year.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we're both, you and I are still like dealing with stuff that we've been dealing with since high school.
Growing pains.
Yeah. And we're two, I would say, successful black men. We've done well in what we do. Yeah. But we still have to face the world.
Yep.
And we're just...
And I mean, we're still trying... And I mean, I'm still... without a doubt, I see a lot of myself in Victor. And
definitely.
That's comforting.
And I mean, that helps. I wish I would have known more about him. I mean, the most that I've gotten from Cyborg was back in 2003 when we first saw him on Teen Titans.
That's it.
But had I known him beforehand with...
his backstory,
or like just in general, Cyborg came out in the 70s with the original Teen Titans, and
didn't know about it.
Exactly,
didn't know about it.
Yeah, no one had a clue about it, and I mean, it was only because both like Marvel and DC, they needed more African Americans in the comic books.
The representation matters, man.
Right.
I mean, if our conversation here doesn't show anybody else anything, it's that representation matters.
Definitely. we can go on and on and on about this,
Right.
and we definitely can. We would definitely have a cyborg episode.
I think that's gonna
sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I think that's on the slate here.
And
I'm happy to do more research on them.
We will get back to that, but for now, what we can do is
take a beat.
We're gonna take a beat.
Hear an ad from our sponsor.
Yes, and we will come back with the weekly blurb. Before we go, though, we want to say that we strongly stand and support the AAPI community. We do not condone any type of violence that comes from hate, racism, anything like that. We strongly support all of our Asian brothers and sisters. We hope that you all are okay. We want you all to be safe. If you need a shoulder to cry on from what has happened recently, do not hesitate to contact us at all of our facets at Blerd Survival Guide, at Blerd Guide, blerdssurvivalguide@gmail.com. Once again, Jay, you have anything else to say on that?
Yeah. I just want to say to my Asian American, Pacific Islanders, and Native Hawaiian community members and brothers and sisters, if you need a helping hand or you need a shoulder to cry on, please reach out to us. I cannot express the amount of influence Asian life has had on my existence as a Blerd, as a human being. The lessons that I have learned through anime, through manga, through just Buddhism, Hinduism, just the studies of Eastern religions and whatnot. That influence is so real in my life, and the friends that I have that are in the community, I love them so deeply. So what happened this week in Atlanta is gut-wrenching, and it makes me hurt so much because I love the people in my life so much, and I hate with all of my being. And so I just want to say that we stand with you, we see you, and if you need us, we are here for you. And I just hope that as we get over this trial, we can continue to work together to make a better world for our children and our grandchildren.
Yeah, guys, that was very well put, Jay.
Thank you.
And like we said, we will be back. We will take this quick beat from a word from our sponsor, and we will see you with the weekly blurb. Hey guys, it's Jeremy here to talk to you about Anchor, the free podcast tool that you all need. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First of all, like I said, it's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your computer or your phone. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership, and it's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. So guys, go ahead and download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm on your computer to get started. Welcome back. Welcome back. You know what time it is. It is time for the weekly blurb.
Listen on the weekly blurb.
Weekly blurb coming at you live. Jay Williams, take the wheel and go.
So, guys, I want to talk to y'all about a new anime that I have recently discovered. I found it on a Facebook page called The Astonishing School of Nerds. It is called...
Oh, Facebook.
Yeah. Jujutsu Kaisen. It is the story of a young man who is in school in Japan, and he eats a cursed item and becomes imbued with cursed energy, also known as possessed. And he then is joined by, he is then recruited by a group of sorcerers that expel curses, also known as a exorcism. So they exorcise curses. And because he did not die upon eating said cursed item, he is able to join them along cursed adventures across the world where they are trying to get rid of all the demons that are plaguing the earth. This anime sparked interest for me because they started comparing it with Naruto. So if folks enjoy Naruto, it is similar in a way. I've binged it over the week, and I'm toward the end of the first season. A lot of the character relationships are similar in that there are some super OP teachers that you don't know are OP until they bust out some really dope jujutsu, which is the type of magic and, whatever powers that they utilize are called. And it's super dope. So I would encourage you all to check it out. It's on HBO Max. I believe it is also on Crunchyroll or some other streaming anime streaming platform, maybe Funimation as well. I haven't checked it out. But if you have HBO Max, check out Jujutsu Kaisen. Thank you very much. Your turn, Jeremy.
All right, well, before we head on over to my turn, just a couple questions, mostly to fill your time.
Oh, what you thinking?
Yeah, so I know you said you took interest into it because of the parallels between itself and Naruto.
Yes.
Now, what are some other reasons someone else should get into it other than that?
So I think if you enjoy a witty dub, it is dubbed. They also have it subbed, but a witty dub for the humor. I think that I've enjoyed it because of that. I enjoy the animation style as well. It's a newer 2D, but it's still good. It edges on the realm of 3D, but not too much. Not so much like Attack on Titan does in that way. But also, I think it's really cool how I like the language that they use to describe the relationships between the demons and the sorcerers, like exercising them, and having our main character, whose name escapes me at the moment.
You mean it's neither Jujutsu or Kaisen?
No, Jujutsu Kaisen is to describe the type of magic that they use.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. His name is Yuji Itadori. And that's the main character's name. And when he is possessed by the demon by eating a finger, which is a cursed item, he only eats it out of last result. And I also really enjoyed it because you're introduced to him as his grandfather is dying and dies. And he basically pressures him to do something with his life right on his deathbed, and he doesn't know what, and now he's then faced with this opportunity to help save someone from being harmed by a demon because there's this cursed item on the school campus, and the only way he can save them is by eating the cursed item and taking on the power and then fighting back, which is what he does. But the sorcerer that is addressing the issue at the time, who becomes another main character, Megumi Fushiguro,
okay,
who's also in school to become a better sorcerer, he eats it and then he's able to fight with them again.
Okay,
he's able to fight and he saves the day ultimately.
All right, that's dope. I would definitely add that to the list. I will check it out. We do appreciate you for your weekly blurb. Now on my spectrum, we're going to stick with the same thing, same anime thing. There is a new anime coming out. It's going to be on Netflix. It is called Yasuke.
Okay, what is that?
Yasuke he is an actual figure in history. He is the first known black samurai.
What?
He is of African origin.
Okay.
And forgive me, I'm doing a quick Google search of Yasuke. Of African origin, he served under the Sengoku period. Japanese Daimyo Oda Nobunaga. But the series is coming out. It's going to be a new anime, of course, on Netflix.
So it's going to be done in the anime style.
Yes. And I believe, actually, the animators is, and correct me if I'm wrong, Survivalists, the group that is going to be handling it is a black
animation team?
studio that is out of Japan.
Oh.
Yeah, and
that's fascinating.
Yeah, and it's like one of the only ones. I believe they did Cannon Busters. That's on Netflix.
I've heard of Cannon Busters.
That's another good one.
I'll have to check it out.
But it's only Unfortunately, it's still only 10 episodes. They haven't done a second season yet, and I need one because it's
It's a
fantastic.
quick one. It's a quick and fun watch.
Yep, and it ends on a open note.
Cliffhanger.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But back to Yasuke, it's going to be, like I said, it probably will be one of those, another 10 episode series. Hopefully it'll be around an hour long.
Okay.
And this is all speculation. But I do know for a fact that the main character, Yasuke, will be played by none other than Lakeith Stanfield.
Oh, man.
Yes.
I love Lakeith Stanfield.
Dude is...
He's so talented.
He really is. He deserves all the accolades.
Right.
From all the work that he does, all the work that he puts in. And, I mean, he finally got some recognition.
I mean, sorry to bother you, and the photograph for these are the other two movies that, like, he's most famous for at the currently.
Right, and a lot of people know him from Get Out, not the main character, but
no, but he is the he's someone's grandfather.
Yeah, he's someone's grandfather that's like is broken
in the body.
Yeah, that, like he kind of breaks from that brainwashing for a second to yell at the man, get out. But yeah, he's playing him actually, and now that I'm slowly remembering things coming to my mind. Yasuke was originally supposed to be a live action film that was supposed to star Chadwick Boseman. Rest in peace.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's
wow.
Yeah, there. If you notice on one of his last Instagram posts, his hair was straightened. I think they were about to start production and filming for it.
Wow.
Yeah, like he was fully prepared to do it. Man. And yeah, unfortunately he did. I mean, he passed beforehand, but I mean it was
rest in peace.
Rest in peace, rest in power. But he did, is going to still be leaving a legacy with this anime. Hopefully they do hopefully they do something in it that'll reflect upon that. Yasuke. Well, I'm not sure how the pronunciation is. I do please forgive me. I'm a African American. I can only do so well with Japanese and Asian names.
Fair.
But I am excited for the series. I will definitely be checking it out as soon as it pops on Netflix. There is no date as to when it is going to be premiering, but for now, just hang on to our speculative words. And any final thoughts and or things before we leave?
Keep surviving, everybody.
Keep surviving, everybody. Again, last time, we just want to say we respect all of you guys. We thank you guys for listening. We will not be recording next week because we will be out of town. So
Jamie's birthday, Meredith's birthday.
Yay! But we will be back the week after. So that'll be April 5th, I believe. April 4th or 5th.
Yep, and leave your suggestions in the Blerd Survival Guide inbox, social media, at Blerd Survival Guide on Facebook and Instagram, at Blerd Guide on Twitter.
Yes, and email us at blerdsurvivalguide@gmail.com. Keep surviving, everybody. Have a fantastic
week.